two young women, a tropical paradise, and a mystery that has haunted the world for more than a decade. In April 2014, two Dutch students, Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon, vanished while hiking in the mountains of Panama. Their phones told a desperate story, their camera revealed haunting photos, and their remains were found miles apart, raising far more questions than answers. This is the chilling mystery of Kris and Lisanne, the Lost Girls of Panama. Kris Kremers was 21, Lisanne Froon was 22, best friends from Amersfoort in the Netherlands. Both had just graduated and decided to travel to Panama for a cultural and volunteer experience before starting their careers. They were adventurous, responsible, and full of life. In March 2014, they arrived in Boquete, a small mountain town in western Panama known for its coffee farms and misty rainforests. The plan was simple: spend a few weeks learning Spanish, explore the area, and then volunteer at a local school. On April 1st, 2014, the two decided to hike the Pianista Trail, a beautiful but challenging path leading from Boquete into the cloud forest. It was a bright, sunny morning when they left. They carried only light gear, a small backpack with water, snacks, a camera, and their phones. They also brought along Blue, a friendly dog from their host family. The trail takes about 2.5 hours to reach the Mirador, the scenic overlook at the top. After that, the path descends into dense jungle and becomes unmarked and dangerous. Sometime after midday, the girls reached the top and took several cheerful selfies together. Those would be the last known images of them alive. Later that day, the dog Blue returned home alone. The girls never did. At first, no one panicked. Maybe they had gone exploring or met new friends. But by the next morning, concern grew. They missed a scheduled appointment with their guide, and messages to their phones went unanswered. By April 3rd, their families in the Netherlands were alerted, and the Panamanian authorities launched a search. Helicopters, dogs, and dozens of volunteers scoured the trails. Nothing. Not a shoe, not a footprint. It was as if the jungle had swallowed them whole.
Weeks later, investigators gained access to the girls' phones, and what they found painted a picture of fear and confusion. Starting around 4:39 p.m. on April 1st, only hours after the hike began, both girls tried calling emergency numbers, 112 and 911. There was no signal. Over the next few days, they kept trying, sometimes several times per day. None of the calls went through. By April 6th, Kris's iPhone stopped working completely, likely out of battery. Lisanne's Samsung kept going for a few more days, but with very limited use. The final attempt to power it on was made on April 11th at 10:51 a.m. After that, silence. 10 days after disappearing, someone, likely Lisanne, made one final futile attempt to reach the outside world. Then, in June, a breakthrough came. A local woman living near the Culebra River, miles away from the Pianista Trail, found a blue backpack resting along the riverbank. Inside were both girls' phones, Lisanne's camera, 2 pairs of sunglasses, $83 in cash, a passport, 2 bras, and a water bottle. Everything was clean, dry, and neatly packed. That detail puzzled investigators. The bag had supposedly spent weeks in a humid jungle with daily rainfall, so how had everything stayed intact? It almost looked as if someone had placed it there intentionally. The camera contained 133 photos. The first group, taken on April 1st, showed the girls happy and relaxed on the trail, smiling at the summit. Later photos suggested they kept walking beyond the mirador, deeper into unmarked territory. Then the photos stopped, until April 8th, 7 days after they vanished. That night, between 1 and 4 a.m., someone took 90 photos in complete darkness using the flash. Some images showed rocks, branches, a riverbed, and bits of terrain. One picture seemed to show the back of a woman's head with light-colored hair, believed to be Kris. Another appeared to show a stick with a piece of plastic tied to it, as if marking a location. Why would someone take so many pictures in the dead of night? Perhaps they were using the flash to illuminate their surroundings, or trying to signal rescuers. Or maybe, as some theorize, something else was happening, and the photos were evidence of it. Soon after, remains began to surface. Near the river where the backpack was found, investigators discovered a boot containing a human foot, still inside the sock. DNA confirmed it was Lisanne's. Days later, about 30 meters away, a fragment of Kris's pelvic bone was found. Over time, more bones were recovered, Lisanne's femur, Kris's rib, and a few others. But the condition of the bones raised disturbing questions. Lisanne's bones still had bits of skin attached, suggesting a normal process of decomposition. Kris's bones, however, appeared unnaturally white and clean, as if bleached or chemically treated. The bones were found miles apart from where the girls were last seen, leading many to wonder, how did they end up scattered in different places? The official Panamanian conclusion was simple. They got lost, fell, or drowned, and died of exposure. But few people are satisfied with that explanation. Many details just don't add up. Why were their belongings dry and undamaged? How did their bones get so far apart? Who deleted several photos from the camera's memory card? And how could Kris's bones appear chemically bleached in such a humid, organic environment? Some theorize foul play. Perhaps they encountered someone in the forest, maybe a local, maybe a guide, who harmed them. The area beyond the mirador is rarely visited and has dangerous cliffs and isolated farms. Others believe one of the women was injured after a fall, and the other tried to find help, taking pictures to navigate in the dark. But even this theory struggles to explain the strange placement of their remains. More disturbing theories involve human interference after death. Some internet investigators believe the backpack was deliberately returned to the riverbank to mislead searchers. The bleaching of bones could suggest they were handled or cleaned. However, no solid evidence has ever been found to prove any of these suspicions. There's also a theory of trafficking or kidnapping. The region around Boquete has at times seen cases of illegal activity and missing tourists. Supporters of this theory point to the timing of the photo deletions and the organized appearance of the backpack. Yet again, evidence remains circumstantial. What's undeniable is that Kris and Lisanne were intelligent and careful young women. Their behavior, frequent emergency calls, nighttime photos, and attempts to preserve their belongings shows they were trying to survive. For at least a week, they fought to stay alive in one of the harshest jungles on Earth. Their last known movements remain a mystery. Some believe they may have followed a small river downstream, thinking it would lead them back to civilization. In reality, that path would have taken them deeper into dangerous terrain, full of cliffs and fast-moving water. If one of them was injured, survival would have been almost impossible. In the years since, journalists, investigators, and internet sleuths have reanalyzed every photo, every GPS coordinate, and every timeline entry. Nothing conclusive has emerged. The local guides who helped search for them still believe the girls lost their way, but many locals quietly suggest there's more to the story, something that was never revealed. The Pianista Trail remains a popular hike for tourists. There's even a small memorial at the top of the mirador where visitors leave flowers and messages. Guides now warn hikers not to continue beyond the overlook. That section of jungle is dense, steep, and unforgiving. More than 10 years later, the mystery still fascinates the world. It's not just about how Kris and Lisanne died. It's about what really happened in those final days. Were they victims of a tragic accident, or was there something darker lurking in the Panamanian jungle? Their story is both heartbreaking and haunting. Two bright young women, full of dreams, vanished into a world of beauty and danger. Their phones captured their desperate fight for survival. Their camera left behind silent clues that no one can fully decode. Even today, the jungle around Boquete keeps its secrets. Perhaps one day someone will uncover the missing pieces, the deleted photos, the truth about the bones, the reason the backpack appeared untouched. But for now, we are left only with fragments of a story, a trail that ends in the mist. Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon will forever be remembered as the Lost Girls of Panama, two friends who set out on a simple adventure and stumbled into one of the most baffling mysteries in modern history. Their story reminds us that even in our connected world, nature remains vast, unpredictable, and full of secrets. And sometimes, the most beautiful places on earth can hide the darkest truths.